You want to take your English listening and speaking to an advanced level, maybe even C2. And you're probably tired of hearing the same old advice. Just practice more.
Yes, it's the most useless advice ever. Like, no kidding, I have to practice, but how? What do I actually do?
Exactly. It feels like you're just spinning your wheels. Well, today is your lucky day because we are going to give you a real concrete roadmap. And a quick note before we jump in. There are no brain rot visuals, no flashy animations, so you can put your phone down and listen to this like an actual podcast.
Yep, just our beautiful voices for the next half hour or so. We've got 4 big strategies for you today that will completely change how you approach learning English. First, we'll talk about why you need to focus on input first, output later. Second, we'll break down how to balance 2 types of practice, intensive and extensive. Third, we'll show you how to create a powerful English environment right in your own home.
And finally, the holy grail, moving from translating in your head to actually thinking and feeling the language intuitively.
Woo! You and your sound effects. But yeah, that's the goal. So let's dive into the first one, Naveen. Input first, output later. What does that even mean?
Okay, so this sounds completely backwards, right? You want to get better at speaking, so you should speak less? My brain hurts already.
See, this is why I handle the teaching. It's not about speaking less forever, it's about the ratio. It's the 80-20 rule. You should spend about 80% of your time on input, that's listening and reading, and only 20% on output, speaking and writing.
Hold on, 80%? That's a huge commitment. Are you seriously telling me that if I have 5 hours a week to study, I should spend 4 of them just listening and reading? That feels so passive.
I know it feels counterintuitive, but think of it like this. You're building a mental library of the language. Every article you read, every podcast you listen to is another book on the shelf. When you finally go to speak, you have this vast library to pull from. Without it, you're just staring at empty shelves trying to invent the language from scratch.
80%. Bro, that is a huge number. So why? Why so much listening and reading?
Think of your brain like a cup. You can't pour anything out of an empty cup. Input fills the cup. When you listen and read, you're absorbing vocabulary, sentence structures, rhythm, intonation, slang, everything. You're building a massive database in your head.
A database. I like that. So if you try to speak too much without enough input, you're just trying to access an empty database?
Exactly. You hesitate, you search for words, you make the same mistakes over and over because you haven't absorbed the correct patterns yet. It's frustrating and it kills your confidence.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I feel that. So what kind of input should you be looking for? Can you just watch kids' cartoons all day?
If you want to talk like a cartoon character, sure. But for C2 level, you need high-quality, authentic material. Podcasts on topics you're genuinely interested in, audiobooks, TED Talks, interviews, documentaries. The key is that it has to be compelling to you.
Compelling. So if you're into, gardening, you should listen to gardening podcasts in English.
Yep, because you already know the context and a lot of the vocabulary in your own language. It makes it easier to understand and you'll actually enjoy it. If you force yourself to listen to boring stuff, you'll quit. It's that simple.
All right, so rule number 1, fill your cup. 80% listening and reading about stuff you love. 20% speaking and writing. Got it. But Neela, what do you do with all that input? Just let it wash over you? That brings us to point 2, right?
Great question and perfect transition, Mr. Podcast host. This is where our second strategy comes in, balancing intensive and extensive practice.
Intensive, extensive, they sound the same. Like expensive cousins. What's the difference?
Okay, let me break it down. Intensive practice is like being a detective. It's active, focused, and deep. You take a very short piece of audio or text, maybe just 1 to 5 minutes, and you analyze it completely.
A detective, huh? So I need a magnifying glass.
You need a transcript. You listen while reading the transcript, you pause, you look up every single word you don't know, you pay attention to pronunciation, to how words link together. You can even do shadowing, which is when you listen and repeat, trying to mimic the speaker exactly. It's hard work. It's a workout for your brain.
Okay, I see. That's the intensive part. So what's extensive? Is that just being lazy?
It's your favorite kind of practice, Naveen. Extensive practice is all about volume and enjoyment. This is when you listen to or read a lot of easy, fun content. You don't stop, you don't look up words unless you absolutely have to. The goal is just to enjoy the story, to understand the main idea, and to get hours and hours of exposure to the language.
So, intensive is the gym, extensive is the long, relaxing walk on the beach.
Perfect analogy. You need both. If you only do intensive, you'll burn out. If you only do extensive, you might miss important details and your progress will be slower. There's a method for extensive reading called the Sudoku method.
The Sudoku method? Like Count Dooku?
No, not Tadoku. It's Tadoku. Tadoku. It's a Japanese term that means extensive reading.
Oh, my bad. Well, Count Sudoku's method sounds way cooler. But okay. So how do you balance them? Like 50-50?
Stop it. A good balance might be doing 15 to 30 minutes of intensive practice a day and then an hour or more of extensive practice. So for intensive, you could analyze a short clip from a movie. For extensive, you could watch the rest of the movie with subtitles just for fun.
Right. Detective work first, then popcorn time. That makes sense. It feels manageable. So we filled our cup with the 80-20 rule, and we're balancing our brain workouts with fun walks on the beach. What's next on our C2 journey?
Next, we get serious. We stop treating English as a subject you study for an hour a day. Strategy number 3 is to create an English environment. You need to build a language bubble.
A language bubble? Like I have to move to the US or the UK? That's not possible for most people.
Nope, you don't have to go anywhere. You create the bubble right where you are, using technology and a little bit of creativity. The goal is to make English a normal part of your daily life, not a special event.
Okay, I'm listening. How do you do that?
It starts small. Change the language on your phone to English. Change your computer's operating system to English. Your social media, your news apps, everything. At first, it's weird, but after a week, it becomes normal. You'll learn words like settings, notifications, and edit profile without even trying.
That's actually a brilliant idea. It's like forced passive learning. What else?
When you want to watch something, your default should be English. When you want to listen to music, put on a playlist in English. When you cook, find a recipe on YouTube in English. You're integrating the language into your existing habits. And here's a big one that feels silly at first, but is incredibly powerful. Talk to yourself in English, out loud.
Whoa, like full-on conversations with myself? People will think I'm crazy.
Well, they might already think that about you, Naveen. But seriously, just narrate your life. When you're making coffee, say, okay, I'm getting the coffee mug now. I'm pouring the hot water in.
Naveen is now making a delicious aromatic cup of coffee. I can do that, but why does it work?
Because it connects the language to real-world actions and objects. It also activates the speaking muscles in your mouth. You're practicing pronunciation and sentence flow in a zero-pressure situation. There's no one there to judge you.
Zero pressure. I like that. So build your bubble, change your devices, change your media defaults, and become the narrator of your own life movie. This is all amazing, but it leads to the final and I think hardest step, right? The mental game.
Yep, this is the final boss. Strategy number 4, move from translation to intuition. This is what separates a proficient speaker from a truly fluent C2 level speaker. You have to stop translating in your head.
But how? My brain does it automatically. I hear an English word and my brain instantly gives me the word in my native language. It's a reflex.
It's a reflex you have to retrain. Translating is slow. It adds an extra step to every single thing you hear and say. To become truly fluent, you need to build a direct connection between an English word and the concept or image it represents.
So how do you do that? What are the practical steps?
2 big things. First, switch to an English to English dictionary. A learner's dictionary like Cambridge or Merriam-Webster is perfect. When you learn a new word like Georges, don't look up the translation. Look up the definition in English. Very beautiful or pleasant.
Ah, so you're staying inside the English bubble even when you're learning new words.
Precisely. You're building connections between English words, not between an English word and a word in another language. The second part is a concept from psychology called the dual coding theory.
Uh-oh, you're getting scientific on me. Break it down, Professor.
It just means our brains remember things better when they're encoded both verbally and visually. So when you learn the word apple, don't just learn the word. Picture a bright red, shiny apple. The goal is to connect the sound and spelling of apple directly to that image and feeling.
So when I hear apple, I should think of the fruit, not the word for it in my language.
Yes, that's it. That's the click. You hear English, you see the image, you have a thought, an image, and the English word comes out directly. The middleman, your native language, is fired.
Wow, firing the middleman. That's a powerful way to put it. It sounds hard, but I can see how that would lead to, true fluency.
It's the ultimate goal. And all the other steps, massive input, intensive practice, creating your bubble, they all help build those direct connections until thinking in English feels as natural as breathing.
Okay, bro, that was a masterclass. Let's do a super quick recap for you listening.
Let's do it.
First, input first, output later. The 80-20 rule. Fill your cup before you try to pour from it.
Second, balance your practice. Be a detective with intensive study and relax on the beach with extensive enjoyment. And it's taroku.
Got it. Third, create your English bubble. Change your devices, your media, and become the narrator of your own epic life story.
And fourth, fire the middleman. Move from translation to intuition by using English-only dictionaries and connecting words to images. Build that direct highway in your brain.
This is not a quick fix. It's a long-term strategy, but it's a real one. It's the path to stop just knowing English and to start living in it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, that's all from us at Native Speakers English. You can do this. Go fill your cup.
See ya!
Thanks for tuning in to Native Speakers English. Follow us on social media handles and subscribe for more tips on your journey to fluency. Until next time, keep practicing.